Tommy wanted me to talk about my bike, so I'm to talk about my Ural. I wrote it down so it makes it a little easier to remember. Yeah, so it's a 2010 motorcycle with attached drivable sidecar wheel. It's 100% Russian-made in the town of Urbits, along the eastern side of the Ural mountain range, approximately 2,000 kilometers east of Moscow, USSR. This motorcycle with sidecar is a clone, or a close copy, of the 1941 BMW R71 motorcycle with sidecar. That's why it looks like has a BMW heritage in it.
R75, not R71.
Yeah, well, that's the information they give me was R71. Yeah. But,
Okay.
okay. History: in 1941, Germany under Hitler gave Russia 10 BMW machines on a Lend-Lease program as they were under a no-attack treaty. 6 months later, Germany attacked Russia.
They wanted them back.
Yeah. Then Russia built over 10,000 during the war years attacking Germany. Yeah. My Ural has the following: a 750cc opposed twin 40 horsepower engine with a double disc drive clutch, Ducati electronic ignition, electric and kickstart, sealed beam headlight, heated hand grips, key and twin carburetors, Brembo 4-piston fixed caliber to a 295mm floating disc brake on the front wheel, and the handbrake on it will stop the sidecar alone without using the rear brakes. So it's quite strong. Sometimes I wish I had 2 discs, but that would add more cost to it. A rear wheel and sidecar are mechanical drum brakes linked together for stopping. It also has a reverse backup gear built in. Plus an on-demand, engageable, a drive shaft to their sidecar wheel for off-road and winter snow driving. As I actually saw last winter, I was able to meet most of the meetings here. It has 419 tires. Practically all the body parts are heavy thickness metal. The exhaust pipes, front and rear push bars, and handlebars are made of heavy stainless steel. The trunk volume is 22 liters. Gas tank capacity is 18 liters. The spare wheel in the trunk is interchangeable with the motorcycle rear and sidecar wheel. The replacement parts can be purchased locally at most of the auto parts stores to save costs to the owners, such as the headlight bulbs and lubricants. So I can also get a lot of the seals and that locally here. The only thing I can't buy is the major engine parts, but they're cheap and they're easily shipped to me if I need them. Sidecar trunk contains a full tool repair kit, and plus oil filter and a 2-handled foot air pump. But I replaced that with electric one since they didn't make them very good, and when you pump down it blows the hose apart, so that wasn't so good. Yeah, that's Russian for you. Sidecar can comfortably sit a person over 6 feet in height, weighing about 250 to 300 pounds.
Or one cat.
Or one cat, yeah. Well. The frame is constructed of double loop steel tubes. The facts on this: miles per gallon is between 26 and 33 on the highway, 9.2 kilometers per liter on the highway. It has a 4-speed gearbox, compression ratio of 8.6 to 1, using a 91 octane gas, but will run okay on regular if needed. And a lot of places in Saskatchewan, that's all you can get is regular. So, but I used regular all last winter because it has more alcohol in it than premium does, and then I didn't have to worry about watering the gas. So that way, the bike ran a lot better. And I was not worried about miles per gallon because if you're spinning your tires and you're driving in the city, you want to warm it up. You don't care about mileage in the winter months. All you want to do is get there. Weight: it weighs approximately 860 pounds. I took it to a truck weigh scale out in Headingley, and the guys weighed it, so that's what it came out to. The unit is capable of going off-road, and the Russian Army uses them as jeeps, as we do, as jeeps here. The bike cost me $18,000. Yeah, so, and then taxes and extra. You can get them cheaper in the States, but the problem with buying them down there is they're not DLT approved for Canada, so the warranty isn't. So you can't bring them across the border. The only difference between my Ural and the ones in the States, as far as DLT things, is that on the back turn signal on the right hand side, they go in and they take the little bulb out. Now it's DLT approved for Canada. That's the only difference between the between the U.S. model and the Canadian ones. I had an opportunity this last about a month ago out at Rivers, Manitoba, to go take it out on the four-wheel quad trails. A bunch of people were going out with their quads, so I went along with them. I put it into two-wheel drive, and I was able to keep up to them for most of the trails and the speed that they were traveling at, except really rough stuff I had to slow down for. So it'll go everywhere a quad will go. I was really just amazed. It'll run during the winter time. It says now on this. During the winter time, I run 5W50 oil in the engine, synthetic. So so I can turn it over. It parks outside. I have a shelter for it and stays outside all winter. It doesn't see a car wash, and I rode it last winter at that. But the bad news is that a lot of the metal parts are heavily rusted, and they get really heavily rusted in the winter because of poor quality steel and that they put on them. So I've had to replace a lot of nuts and bolts with stainless steel. The battery in it is a sealed gel battery, so there's no servicing required. The air filter is basically a K&N air filter, so you just clean it, lube it, and put it back in. So that really cuts down on maintenance. Oil filters are located right on the very front of the motor, so you undo a flat plate on the bottom, and then drop the filter out and put a new one in. So the oil changes are really easy to do.
So is that a canister type or just an element that you put in?
Yeah, just an element. Yeah, paper element, metal. It fits right inside. They're about about $15 for each one, so it's relatively cheap. The bike comes with a 2-year unlimited mileage warranty, so meaning you can drive it for as much as you want. But I got a deal on mine. The dealer used it for it's a 2010, and he put 2,700 kilometers on it before I got it. So I got it as a brand new bike. So I've been putting kilometers on above that. So and the only problem I had was so far, I had the rear diff was leaking, so I had to replace a seal on it. I had a rear diff leak seal, and that was under warranty. And I got a my hall sensor on the front of the engine that picks up. Well, hall sensors are a little gadget inside. It breaks the electrical field for the thing, so the electronics the engine will run. Well, I had that, and the coil broke. Very bad. So trying to trace it, it was a big deal. But they sent me all the parts in the mail on warranty, and I was able to put them in, and it didn't cost me anything. So that was really good. It gets what do you call it? Well, anyhow, any questions? Yes.
Where do you take it for warranty locally?
I don't. I do all the warranty work myself.
So you have to change your own seal on it?
Change my own fuel and oil, everything myself. And I have a mechanic who's qualified for the province of Manitoba. And I get him. He just checks off and does valve adjustment for me. But I do all the other maintenance. So we sign it off, and I had it okayed through the distributor in Saskatoon where I bought the bike. That it's okay on the warranty like that.
When you put the bike into two-wheel drive like that, does it just turn that whole thing into like one live axle, or is there a differential axle?
Right, you got it down.
Between
It's a solid axle.
Okay.
There's no differential in the rear. There is basically I have to stop and put it in neutral, and then I flip the lever back, and it locks another cog in the diff there, and it locks the drive in. So both wheels turn together at the same time. So if I'm going across pavement or hard surface, all it wants to do is push me straight ahead. And you can turn the handlebars left or right, and it'll push rubber as it's going. So the only thing where it's really good is if I'm going up hills or I'm going in the sand or in anything like that. It's just wonderful for driving. It goes through the real soft stuff. I push it through in the wintertime. I tried just to see what it will do in the snow. So I got a big parking lot, and the guys had just plowed it, and they left windrows about the height of the table around the parking lot, and in the center of it, the snow was a good 1.5 feet deep, and they had ice underneath it. So I took a run at it and then plowed right on through that stuff. So, and it'll go right on through, no problem. Now, what I did is I cheated a bit. I went online and I ordered some carbide studs for the rear tire, and studded the rear tire up. And you don't realize how hard motorcycle tires get in the winter. They are just solid like hockey puck rubber, just super hard. So, but what I should have did is on them, I should have studded my front wheel, but I didn't. And so because you do a lot of steering and braking on the front wheel. So next winter I'm gonna stud the front wheel to go with the back. But it's kind of expensive because it runs $1.50 a stud, and you're looking at maybe 60 studs per, 60 to 90. But I think I put about 90 studs in, so it's quite a few on at $1.50 a stud. I'm looking over $100 just for the one wheel only. Yeah, but that worked out really good. And over the winter I lost maybe a third of them. They flew out because I never put the studs in far enough into the rubber. A lesson learned. I won't do that again. So, anyhow, yeah. And the car does not go see the car wash, or the bike doesn't go in the car wash because there's nothing like getting condensation in those cables. So when you come up to a light, you got full throttle and you can't turn it off. Yeah, so that's downright scary. So that happened to me once in the spring, so I never saw a car wash after that until it warms up. But I spray it down really good with WD-40 and aircraft aluminum spray. I just put it in pretty, I sprayed the whole engine, all aluminum, everything down with that. And then from then I just let it get coated. The few things I did last winter was drive in the slush, and I'm not going to do that this winter. I'm going to wait till it gets super cold before I take it out. Yeah, so other than that, I put one of these battery tenders on it this year to help with the battery so it'll stay up. It starts really good on kickstart. Yeah, so it's good on that. Burns nice for on regular gas, but its ideal is premium. But I do notice a marked difference in power and driving on it, and it only has a top speed of about 40 miles an hour into the wind on the highway because it's pushing that big sidecar. But I can go wonderful. I can go across fields, ditches, everywhere with it. But it's not fast. It's like a tractor. It doesn't go very fast at all. So that's about it. Anything else? You just ask me later unless you want now. Huh?
Thanks, Larry.
Okay.
Thank you, Larry.
So I guess it's